Turn this into the Dreamcast?
Yeah.
This is the Dreamcast. Now let's all
but let's be real here. As men, we gotta be honest here, bro. We smashing whatever's possible, and if they're bad,
Speak
you know
for
we're gonna say no.
yourself. Yes, speak for yourself,
bro.
though.
When you were single, right, and you were my age, right, what were you doing?
I would call myself stupid. Is what I would call myself, stupid, immature.
But you were still smashing.
Okay. I would call myself stupid, immature, not brought up properly, not taught the things that actually make me into a high value man. So I think you need to flip the equation. You say the women have all the power, but what you're saying is, what we're really saying is the top tier of men, you're saying, get to have their pick of the women. Who has the power then to
I've said
to
it a
set
million
the
times.
standard?
I've actually said this a million times. What feminism actually did was it inadvertently gave the top 1% of guys all the leverage.
Powers.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've said that a million times. But my thing is this. I get what you're saying. That's ideal, but it's not real, because let me explain to you why this will never work. Even though it sounds great on paper, why it'll never work. A man that's successful, that has a private jet, that's earned millions of dollars, that's acquired status, etc., they busted their ass to get to that point. You think he's going to sit there and only hook up with one girl? I always use the candy store analogy. And he's banging a bunch of chicks now, right?
Did you see the South Park episode they did about this?
Yeah.
They were all shocked. Like, how is this happening that wealthy, successful men keep having sex with all these women?
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's hilarious. That's not
and it's because, and it's like, even though we should tell guys, exercise sexual temperance, stop doing this, blah, blah, blah. The guys that become successful are going to look at you, flip the bird and be like, I'm going to continue to do this. I had to bust my ass to get to this position. And one of the first things that guys do once they make money is they start going crazy with girls. So realistically speaking, the guys are never going to stop trying to bang girls. And then the girls that are looking for status and experiences, etc., they're never going to want to keep chasing the top 1% guys, because it's embedded in our biology. And then on top of that, it's never going to change, because women worked really hard during feminism, and they worked really hard to get the same equality and opportunities that men have. So they're never going to go ahead and say, you know what? We want to go back to the kitchen and serve a man and, be a dutiful wife. They only want to do that for a small percentage of men that are the same guys that don't want to commit.
See, we are in the game currently, right? You guys might be out of the game. I know you're married and stuff like that. Understandable. I have friends, high value guys, so to speak. They're successful. I see their DMs. I have girls that are cool, beautiful girls. I see their DMs. What do you see? You see them in Dubai. You see them in Miami. You see them in Costa Rica. You see them everywhere, right? Who's paying for these trips? We are. Now, to be fair here, I agree with you. They should stop. But will they? No. So guess what? And hold on. You know the worst part? These girls, some of them are married, have boyfriends, and they'll never know. Oh, I'm going on a girls trip, honey. I'll be back soon. Someone's finding them out. I'm just saying, generally speaking, most guys will never stop.
It just feels like what we're saying is like...
It's pessimistic, I know.
You're saying the system is really messed up, and so therefore let's just enjoy it.
Adapt.
Let me put my political mind to all of this and show you the roadmap I see. When I look at this data that these guys aren't having sex, and we're saying that it's the wealthy, successful guys that are getting access to all the women.
Yeah.
Think about what that means in terms of human civilization reproduction. It means that slightly above average to below average, I'm talking about like 70% of men and down are not going to be reproducing or having a hard time doing it.
Yeah.
Only the strongest, smartest, most successful, cunning are going to reach a level of status where they're going to be having access to all these women. This means that mathematically, you can look at it from a mathematical equation. Over a longer period of time, there's a higher standard of men reproducing, and the lower standard of men are failing to reproduce. And this seems more carnal than what society used to be, right? It feels more like what chimps do, where it's like the alpha beats the crap out of their dudes and then bangs all the women, and then all the babies come from one strongest guy.
Yeah.
There's a problem here for human civilization. When it comes to other mammal species and the way they engage in reproduction, it doesn't matter to any of us or anyone in these areas where there are, primates or mammals that engage in that kind of pair bonding. But in human civilization, what we do know is when there are large quantities of men who are unpaired, society breaks down.
Absolutely.
You get crime, chaos, violence, social disorder, and then eventually collapse of governance. We've talked about this quite a great deal when looking at communist nations and the rise of revolution. It is purposeless young men, and they're going to put that energy somewhere.
Absolutely.
If we're building a system that has cut off large portions of men from dating, they will figure out something to do with that. And idle hands is devil's playground.
Yeah.
So while you may say in the short term, there is a net evolutionary positive in that the smartest, quickest, strongest men are having are more likely to have families, then you also have to contend with the rest of men will burn that system to the ground.
100%.
So Andrew Tate is famous for saying this competition being held at high levels, low levels for men always, right? And look at Nick Cannon. He has what 11 kids? Akon, like 20 kids. So you're right. The top guys are getting most of the kids. Trump as well. Now, are you guys Christian, by the way? Are you Christian?
I'm not Christian. I believe in God, but I'm not.
Okay. So if you're Christian, you know what's going to happen. Revelations, it speaks about it. End times, pretty much like this is going to happen no matter what you do. However, you can save a few people by talking to them directly, telling them the truth. But my thing is like, it's going to happen anyway. So why not just adapt to it, be the best man you can be, and try to win? Because I think you can't really change it, to be honest with you.
But you can change your life. You can make your, like, I'm very much focused on the things that I can control in my own life and building a fortress around my family financially, mentally, spiritually. And I know it's possible because I've done it, and I'm not particularly special. Like, I'm not super intelligent. I work really hard, and I've been successful because I was committed to a purpose, and most of that purpose came from my children. Once I had children, it was a different ball. And you can track my net worth and my everything from when my first son was born. It's like a flip switched and boom. Yeah. It's like a different level of purpose. And to, even to delay that for men to get experience or whatever, maybe because I think what ends up happening is the sex, just because we're men, we're carnal, the sex becomes the purpose over what the purpose should actually be, which should be to start building your life. Part of that's dating, but to say that this is the way it has to be and is always going to be, I think it's just too pessimistic for me. I don't think that has to be it.
I'll go back to where I was at when I said society breaks down, because nothing ever ends there. There's always what comes next. And thinking about, as you describe it, if we come to a point where there are too many purposeless, listless men, and they've become sexually frustrated, they've become professionally frustrated, it's hard for them to find work. Not only are they competing with higher value men for the sexual marketplace, it's also the physical, actual professional marketplace, and now they're competing with women for jobs too. Mm-hmm. If this does lead to some kind of social order breakdown, after the dust settles and the revolution, Soviet Union lasted 69 years. Who's going to be in charge of what comes next? It's going to be guys like Jason, who have secured and fortified their family and have prepared generationally. If you have kids, you raise your kids right. When everything breaks down, those kids are part of your network, your protection. They're part of what will keep your society going. But if you look at a place like, New York, maybe Miami, where people are not having kids and they're very promiscuous, when social order breaks down, those their lines break. I'll put it this way: you are more likely to survive a conflict with a family than without one. That's the easiest way to look at it. And then if you look at the math for that, I would just say the equation seems to predict if social order does break down because of what we're seeing, with dating apps, with social media. Give it 100 years, and it's going to be people like Jason who are controlling it.
I think he just nailed it though. Like the vision I see for what you guys are saying is like turning the entire world into San Francisco, and I'm like, no, but I'm not into that.
No, but look, and I hear you. And then San Francisco collapses completely, and then it's ashes with people like you standing on top of it.
Correct.
Yeah, but the other thing, which I understand what you're saying, like, yeah, you're better off with a family. But what's worse is that you build a family with a woman that wasn't worthy in the first place 100%. Because you didn't have the knowledge to do so.
We agree on that.
My thing is, I'm telling guys, yes, build families, have children. We are not against that at all. The nuclear family is absolutely the backbone of why the United States is the most powerful country in the world. However, what I am saying is that most women are not worthy of building a nuclear family with. I want guys to go into the relationships or marriage or anything like that with their eyes wide open. A lot of these women are not worthy of it, and you need to pick the best one.
Okay, so would you tell them, because like there are a lot of points of agreement here.
Yeah.
But would you tell them that when you choose to slide into a woman's DMs or whatever you do to pick up women, that your goal should still be, whether it's your first one or your 50th one, the end goal should still be consider whether or not you want this woman to raise your kids.
Of course, but the thing is that, you know, our guy's going to do that. A lot of guys are going to think with their dick, and they're going to want to go ahead and have sex with girls and hook up.
But what's the idea? What should they do is what I'm asking.
Here's the thing. Identifying what you don't want is just as important as identifying what you do want. So maybe you might need to go through 1 or 2 IG thotties to figure out, damn, I don't really want to be with these types of women. You know, get that out of your system. So my thing is, I want guys to be experienced so that they don't experience the wrong girl, build a family with the wrong girl.
One thing really quick, because I have a friend. He actually is on Twitter. I think it's